Hello, welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. I'm your host, Daniel Daly. As always, thank you guys for joining me as we crank out these episodes over the NBA season as we enter the new year. Um, Thank you for all the support on the channel, the comments, the likes, and the views. Thank you guys for just tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because that continues to grow the channel and that shows me what you guys are liking. Um, but as we enter episode 9 on the season, we're going to be talking about obviously the Lakers' struggles, the Warriors' descent in the Western Conference, Shaq's jersey retirement, and a couple items around the NBA. But let's get started. Let's get started with the Lakers. Just obviously on a downward spiral ever since the in-season tournament. Have been 3-10 since the in-season tournament, 11th in the West now, currently, and they have just been on a downward spiral. And I'm not one to sit here and say I don't hate the Lakers. I do hate the Lakers. I love it when they are in trouble. I love when they're struggling. They're fans, and I'm just not going to say I make memes to make fun of the Lakers, but looking at what the Lakers have been through, obviously they made a big push to win that in-season tournament, $500,000 extra to every other player on the team for the winning team. And just looking at what they did there, and it looks like, okay, the Lakers are finding some footing in the Western Conference, are going to be building up. But since then, they have been 3-10 and have been struggling. And I just want to address their fan base in terms of everything that they've been saying. In the offseason, they said they loved the additions of Gabe Vincent, especially off that playoff run against the Boston Celtics and his playoffs in general last year. They re-signed Rui Hachimura, which they said was a must. They did that for 3 years, $51 million. They re-signed D'Angelo Russell, who Laker fans are kind of hot and cold on. One minute they like him, the next they don't. Too inconsistent for the majority. Looking at the additions of Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, all these guys, Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, who Laker fans were high on. And they were so gung-ho that all these additions were working and that this was going to work. People have been questioning the lineups and everything like that with the Lakers. And it's like, they're just not a good team right now. And they're kind of stuck in kind of like how they were last season, where they were kind of just in the middle of the road. On both offense and defense, and that's just not going to get it done, especially in this Western Conference, which has the Clippers playing well, OKC, Minnesota. A lot of those teams that were below are now higher. The Clippers are healthy so far to start this season. There's just too much influx in the Western Conference for the Lakers to build off that run last year. And last year, we can honestly say now probably that it was a fluke. Looking at what they did against Memphis, who didn't have Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, which I stated, if Memphis had those two guys, Memphis probably would have won that series because of just the size discrepancy between the two teams on the front line. And then they move into the second series where they go up against the Warriors. And obviously they have the size advantage, the athleticism ability over those guys, and the Warriors just aren't the Warriors that they were the year previous. And then with the whole Jordan Poole incident and all that stuff, all their controversy, which I will talk to about in a minute. But looking at that, and then they finally run into the Denver Nuggets, who are just a better team, a well-oiled machine, have size on each position, can guard, can defend, can score, and then you have a dynamo like Joker, who Anthony Davis just didn't have an answer for. You're looking at their last season run, and it's kind of like you guys have supposedly improved this team. You guys have supposedly kept the core together, the guys that got things done last year, like Rui, Austin Reaves, D'Angelo Russell, guys that were getting things done for you guys last year. And now this year, where more teams are better, improving teams, younger teams are playing better. Teams are shooting the ball better than the Lakers, which I'll also get into. But they just haven't been good. But since the in-season tournament, they have only beaten the Wizards, the Spurs, the Hornets, all lottery stud teams that are heading towards the lottery, looking for a lottery pick, looking to offload a bunch of contracts, looking to tank, not win games. So those wins aren't impressive for the Lakers. And then they got the Spurs they lost to. They lost to the Knicks. They lost to the Bulls. They lost to the Wolves twice. The Celtics, the Pelicans, the Heat, and the Grizzlies, which was an impressive win for the Grizzlies last night. Marcus Smart hitting 8 threes, 29 points, lighting you up. Former Celtic. Love it. Love it. Love it. But let's get into the details here why the Lakers are struggling. Just absolutely struggling, not shooting the ball really well. Outside of LeBron Davis and Reaves, the team is shooting 25% from three. And when you have guys like creators that are Austin Reaves and LeBron and Anthony Davis who create defensive attention from the other team, you're going to need guys to knock down shots. And when the team is shooting 25% from three, that's just not going to get it done in the NBA. On any level, that's just not going to happen unless your team is just crazy defensive like the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. You're just not going to get it done. And those guys like Jared Vanderbilt is not shooting the ball well. D'Angelo Russell's not shooting the ball well. Cam Reddish, who they brought in, isn't shooting the ball well. But let's look at the Lakers' big three so far to start the season, especially with the Laker fan base. They said they wanted Anthony Davis to play at an MVP level. He's playing at an MVP level, 30.1 points per game, 11.6 rebounds per game, and 2.5 blocks over the last 13 games. He's bringing his A game. He's showing up. He's being healthy. He's staying out there on the floor and playing at a high level. So there's no criticism towards Anthony Davis that could be made. There's nothing that anybody can say about Anthony Davis and his level of play for the Lakers right now because he's doing it on both ends of the court, and the others aren't just keeping up. LeBron James is playing at an all-star level, 25.7 points per game, 9 assists, 6.8 rebounds over the last 13 games. He's bringing his A game, and it's just like LeBron's impact is still there, but just not on the defensive end where he can use his athleticism to impact both sides of the ball to the lengths that he needs to for this team to win so far. And that's not a knock on him at 39 years old. There's going to be limitations to what he can do at this stage, but he's playing well. And then Austin Reaves, obviously being the third guy that outplayed his contract last year and quite frankly outplaying his contract this year. He's on a team-friendly deal, but 17.7 points per game, 6.2 assists, 4.2 rebounds. These three guys are not the problem for the Los Angeles Lakers. They usually play well. The lineups are pretty good. They all complement each other really well. Austin Reaves is really stepping up and playing over a lot of guys who Laker fans had more expectations for than Austin Reaves. And he's playing well. LeBron's playing well. Anthony Davis is playing well. But when we look at the others for the Lakers, you got Taurean Prince, who's been shooting the ball really well for them so far, 42.6% over the last 13 games. So he's shooting the ball. He's doing his job and trying to play defense and things of that nature. But D'Angelo Russell has been a dumpster fire. Kendrick Perkins has said it. Zach Lowe has said it. All these people have said it and pointed out D'Angelo Russell is just not getting it done for the Los Angeles Lakers at 10.1 points per game, 5.8 assists, which is good. But then he's shooting 40% from the field. And a guy who Laker fans and Laker brass were high on was Cam Reddish bringing him in. He's only averaging 6 points, but he's shooting 29.6% from the field. Like, that's just not going to get it done for the Los Angeles Lakers. They're going to be a dumpster fire on both sides of the ball until either their shooting improves or they find a way to do a trade. And now everyone's saying they should be making a trade. Everyone is hinting at Kyrie Irving as a trade asset there because of the contracts and how friendly it was and close it was to D'Angelo Russell. And I'm just like, if I'm Dallas, I'm not trading for D'Angelo Russell, especially what I've been seeing, especially after the last couple of seasons, his career, and especially this season. I'm not trading for him, no matter what. Even if Kyrie Irving if he has to pick another team. Looking at the Zach LaVine route, which people have been happy about, and the Lakers are desperately in need of scoring and a dynamic score, it's most likely going to cost you Rui Hachimura, most likely going to cost you Austin Reaves. And is that enough for the Bulls, and especially with your low pick count in terms of draft picks? Is that going to be enough for the Bulls to trade Zach LaVine to you guys just because you guys are the Lakers and you guys need somebody? I don't know if that's enough. And the Bulls are probably trying to make a push for the in-season playoffs. I would try to get as much value as I can for Zach LaVine, even though his value has kind of diminished with the Bulls' the Bulls' improved play over the past couple of weeks since he's been out. I just don't see it from that standpoint of you guys trading for him. They got DeJounte Murray, who's probably going to be out of Atlanta soon at some point. But to me, it's like, is that just the Russell Westbrook syndrome where a guy that needs the ball in his hands, he's a better defensive player, better offensive player at this stage of his career than Russell Westbrook. But when you're looking at it for DeJounte Murray to come in and then play off of LeBron, play off of Austin Reaves, it's like, is he going to be able to do that and shoot the ball well enough for your team going forward? Now, I don't know what Atlanta wants. I don't think of Rui Hachimura. I know if there's been ties to people saying that Austin Reaves, they would like him to come to Atlanta and stuff of that nature. But from even that standpoint, are you going to do that trade if you're Atlanta? Or can you get more for Javonte Murray around the league where teams need point guards and need a type of guard, play style that he brings to the table? And I just don't know if the Lakers have anything that teams want right now and can outbid other teams enough to not gut their team one, but to hold it up. But the others have been playing so bad for the Lakers. Who knows? Who knows what you guys are going to be doing? It's going to be interesting to see how they pick it up. They got the Clippers, I believe, on Monday night. So after dropping a game to the Grizzlies there the other night, and it's just like to the Heat the other night, especially the Heat with only Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. I don't see how it gets better for them schedule-wise. I don't see how it gets better for them unless these guys are just shooting the ball really well and shooting the ball out the gym. That's the only way that the Lakers can get better right now, currently constructed, because the defense is not bad. It's their offense the past couple of years they just haven't been able to figure out. And it starts with the shooting, starts with the spacing, starts with the playmaking, and they just haven't figured it out as yet for the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can turn it around. A lot of trade rumbling, rumors and stuff like that. A lot of LeBron sulking, not really talking too much, being upset with the media, being upset with his teammates and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes going forward. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, keep showing the love. And as we continue into our next segment, give me 1 second. Hopefully that worked. I don't know if that's working. But let's go with